Did you know there was a tiny kitten left on the street? Her name was Ming Ming. She was very small and her fur was gray. One day, she just woke up and her mother was gone. She was alone in a big box on the side of the road. Cars were speeding by. People were walking without noticing her. Ming Ming felt scared. The world seemed like a big place for a little kitten like her. She didn't know where to go or what to do. Ming Ming's heart was full of sadness. She missed the warmth of her mother's hug so much. She remembered her gentle tongue cleaning her. Now, all she felt was the cold breeze. It was night and the streetlights began to glow. The shadows seemed like monsters wanting to scare her. She hid in the corner of the box, trembling with fear and cold. Her tiny stomach rumbled with hunger. She cried softly, hoping someone would hear her. As the night deepened, her fear grew stronger. She heard dogs barking in the distance. She also heard the noise of cats fighting. For her, all sounds were scary. She thought, I wish someone would help me. She closed her eyes and tried to sleep, but hunger and cold wouldn't let her. Every minute felt like an hour. Sadness was a heavy blanket covering her. She wondered if there was still hope waiting for her. In the morning, the sun rose. It gave a little warmth to her body, but her situation hadn't changed. She was still hungry, thirsty, and alone. She saw children playing nearby. She wanted to go closer, but she was scared. What if they just shooed her away? The experience of being left behind caused great fear in her heart, so she just stayed in her box, watching the world that seemed to have forgotten her. Hope seemed like a distant star, hard to reach. One day, an old dog approached her. His name was Bante. Bante was big, but his eyes were kind. He saw Ming Ming trembling in the box. He slowly approached so as not to scare the kitten. "Don't be afraid, little friend," Bante said in a soft voice. Ming Ming was surprised, but she saw the kindness in Bante's face. Bante brought her a piece of bread he got from a kind vendor. That was Ming Ming's first meal in 2 days. Soon, another cat arrived. This was Kuting, a brave street cat who knew every corner of the area. Kuting taught Ming Ming how to find food. She showed her which trash cans had delicious leftovers. She also taught Ming Ming how to avoid dangers on the street, like fast cars and grumpy people. Bante, on the other hand, served as her protector. When other animals wanted to hurt Ming Ming, Bante would block them. Ming Ming made new friends. Slowly, the sadness in Ming Ming's heart was replaced by joy. She was no longer alone. She now had a family on the street. Bante was like a father to her, always providing protection and advice. Kuting was like an older sibling, always ready to teach and play. At night, she no longer slept alone in the cold box. They slept together in a safe corner where the warmth of their bodies gave comfort to each other. Hope began to bloom again in her heart. Ming Ming learned the importance of friendship. She learned that even in the midst of hardship, there are creatures willing to help. Bante's kindness and Kuting's bravery inspired her. She started to become braver. She was now trying to approach people who looked kind. Sometimes, an old woman who swept in the morning would give her milk. Every little kindness she received strengthened her belief that the world isn't always cruel. There is still goodness to be found. As Ming Ming grew, she faced many challenges. One day, a strong storm came. The rain was non-stop and the wind was strong. Their sleeping place was flooded. They needed to find higher ground for shelter. Ming Ming was scared of the loud thunder and lightning. But Bante stayed by her side. "Don't give up, Ming Ming. We're in this together," Bante said. Those words gave Ming Ming courage. She followed Bante and Kuting until they found a dry place. Another challenge was fighting with other cats for territory. There was a big cat who wanted to claim their spot. It challenged Kuting, but Ming Ming, who used to be timid, no longer hid. She stood beside Kuting, even though she was still trembling with fear. She showed that she was no longer the small and scared kitten she used to be. The big cat saw that they were united. Because of this, the big cat retreated. That was the first time Ming Ming felt brave. She learned that strength is in unity. Ming Ming also learned to be resourceful. Thanks to Kuting's teaching, she became good at catching mice. She no longer relied on leftovers. She could now find her own food. One day, she saw a small bird that had fallen from its nest. Instead of hurting it, she gently pushed it with her nose back under the tree where it was safe. Bante saw this and smiled. "Ming Ming, you're growing into a good cat," he said. Being brave isn't just about fighting, but also about showing kindness. These trials shaped Ming Ming. Fear was replaced by courage. Sadness was replaced by hope. Her small body grew and became strong. Her eyes no longer showed fear but determination. She now knew how to live on the street. But most importantly, she now knew how to be a good friend and a brave cat. She was ready to face any challenge that came her way. She was no longer the kitten left in the box. She was now Ming Ming, the cat with a brave heart. One night, as Ming Ming, Bante, and Kuting were walking, they smelled smoke. It was coming from a small house near their area. That house was where an old woman lived who always gave them food. They saw that there was a fire inside the house. The old woman was sleeping and didn't know the danger. The people around hadn't noticed the fire yet. Bante started barking loudly to wake up the neighbors. Kuting was meowing loudly. But Ming Ming had another idea. She knew there was a small hole in the old woman's kitchen window. This was her way in when she was given milk. She didn't hesitate. She quickly ran and jumped through the hole. Inside, the smoke was thick. She could barely breathe. But she didn't give up. She ran to the old woman's room. She jumped on the bed and started scratching and making noise to wake the old woman. The old woman woke up, surprised by what Ming Ming was doing, but she also smelled the smoke. Because of what Ming Ming did, the old woman woke up and was able to get out of the house before the fire grew bigger. Bante's barking and Kuting's meowing were also heard by the neighbors. They called the fire department. Help arrived and the fire was put out. The old woman was safe, and all of that was because of a little cat. The old woman hugged Ming Ming. "Thank you, little hero. You saved my life," she said, crying with joy. Everyone in the community admired Ming Ming's bravery. From then on, Ming Ming was no longer an ordinary street cat. She became the hero of their area. The old woman adopted her and gave her a warm home. Of course, Bante and Kuting were with her. The old woman also gave them a place in her yard. Ming Ming's story taught us important lessons. Kindness, even from a small animal, will come back to you. Hope is always there, even in the darkest moments. And bravery is not measured by size, but by a heart willing to help those in need.